Hi, I'm Jillian McKay.
I'm Jessica Chen. And I'm Ashley Hatfield.
And we read the book The Dinner by Herman
Koch.
Okay. At this point we are in at this point we're on page 270.
Our latest DPN we read from 240 to 270, which was about it was at the ended part of the dinner where Serge says that he is not running for Prime Minister anymore, and then he wants to hold a press conference at the cafe, and Michael. Oh, and then there's the scene with the principal. Too,
Yeah.
Where Paul
he, like,
punches and
yeah.
beats up the principal, which is crazy.
They talk about how Michael was very violent as a child. And like
I think Michael inherited it from Paul because
Yeah,
Paul is so
definitely.
violent. It was so unnecessary for him to punch the principal and get violent. Any normal person would have just had a heated conversation, but they wouldn't
Yeah.
have brought it to the level of violence where
At
Paul
this
did.
point, I think that we know that Paul's problem is that he has anger issues.
Yeah, but
and
we
that's
don't
what
know
he's
exactly
taking
what
medication
it is.
for. But like
I don't think he's taking medication for anger issues. I think that there's a deeper.
the deeper thing.
I think there's something like. I think he's actually has a disease that one of the symptoms is anger issues, or maybe he's just more than one. If anything, I would think maybe bipolar,
Yeah.
because his thoughts
That
are
makes
always
sense.
racing too.
Yeah.
I feel like throughout the book, he constantly is switching from one thought to the next, and he's always focusing on the little tiny details that are completely insignificant and not important enough to share.
and he's always like he'll be really happy all of a sudden, and then one little thing will spike him, and then he'll be like really angry.
Yeah.
And just keeps switching.
Like when the guy said that, like, I'm not saying your son's a burnout, and then he just says Mr. Loman, and then he throws a punch.
I know.
What is
That's
that?
a little crazy. I don't know. He's just crazy.
It's a little crazy.
He's really
He's
crazy.
really crazy.
But like Claire, in the end of this section, Claire is pretty much telling him that he has to beat up his brother to like, so his brother like doesn't make this press conference at the cafe, which I think is really crazy that he would
Yeah,
that
one
Claire
thing
would let him do that.
I'm kind of confused about why they want to stop the press conference. Like, why does it matter? I know that they care about that, like, it's their place, a cafe, but why is it something deeper than that? Like,
It's for like the kids, pretty much. It's for
but him not being in the spotlight all the time, wouldn't that be better for the kids to grow up in a normal
no, but
lifestyle?
I think that would put him. I think the parents think that would put him into even more of a spotlight, because they'll be like, oh, your dad like isn't gonna be prime minister anymore because of something that you did. You know, that's like almost better than.
But does everyone know? Isn't it only kept in the family?
Yeah, but like at the press conference, that's what Serge was gonna say, that his son and his nephew were the ones who like incinerated this homeless person.
And like
I don't get. I know. Sorry. Rick. Wait, that's Serge's son, Rick, right? I don't know why. I mean, I get punishment is necessary for rehabilitation or whatever. But why? I don't know any parent that would just completely throw their kid under the bus like that.
Right.
maybe he wants to like teach him a lesson or something, or like
Yeah, but
send him to like
teaching the lesson would be different than sending him to prison.
I think that he's doing it just for himself. Like Serge is gonna do it for himself. He's
So
blaming
he can't
it,
get
not
blackmailed.
necessarily blaming it, but like he's saying he's doing it because of his kid, but he's really doing it for himself. I don't like this.
like trying to get out of being
Right.
prime minister. Like maybe he secretly didn't want to be prime minister.
Or like if it ever came out in like the future, like how bad like he would look.
Yeah, it's not. It's like a burden too.
Like if someone learned about it and blackmailed him, or like the guy who's blackmailing Michael, maybe,
Scooter.
yeah, what if he started blackmailing Serge, who became prime minister,
Well,
and
he
be like,
kind of is.
I'll,
Because it's his kid.
I know, but what if, like, later on he becomes prime minister and the kid who blackmailed him is like, okay, well, now I want more money if you want me to keep this a secret.
Right.
Because that could do even more damage if he became prime minister and then the secret came
So
out.
like in the long run, it's better for him to tell people than to people to find out and then be like,
I mean,
you kept
he-
this from us.
He could always pretend like he doesn't know. Like, he doesn't have to.
If like somebody found out though, it's a lot worse.
Yeah.
One quote that I wrote down was, I'm not going to say exactly what time it was. Exact times can turn on you later. That was on page 249. And I feel like all of a sudden, Paul, actually no, he started from the beginning of the book. Paul has been saying stuff like this all the time. He's like, I can't tell you where I am. Like, I can't tell you what street I'm on. I can't tell you the name of the restaurant. Which is like weird because
He seems pessimistic. Sorry. Speech impediment.
no, he does seem pessimistic.
I just think he's always so secretive about
Yeah.
everything in his life.
That's what I also said. That.
It's
I
like
said,
weird.
I said like Paul. But one of the questions that I asked was why is Paul so sneaky?
Yeah. Like he could have told us stuff that he was going to dinner. He didn't have to say what they're talking about. It would just be like a normal dinner with the family.
Right.
Well, also, I think that whole family is just sneaky. Because there was another part, I wrote it down, where Claire called Michael, but then Paul said that she doesn't light up the way that she usually does with Michael, and he believed that she was talking to someone else. So, why would she lie about who she was talking to, and if so, who was she talking to?
Yeah.
So I feel like that whole Claire lies and the sneaky Babette and Serge, I don't even know what's going on with them. But I mean, Serge obviously lies, except
Yeah.
for now he's going to tell the truth. And then
Which is so
Paul
weird.
constantly, like, doesn't tell the truth at all.
Yeah.
I just feel like their whole family is just based off of lies. Like everybody tells lies, and it's just like Serge and like this whole generation of they have.
There's so many secrets.
Yeah, the whole like
There's so many secrets that are still kept
Right.
that they truly don't know what's going on.
I
And
think that
if you don't know what's going on, then you can't be, like, you can't fix anything.
right. I think that is like the the 3 topics: truth, conflict, and sacrifice. I think that's the truth. That everyone lies. That everyone's lying and everyone. It's kind. I feel like everyone's kind of in it for themselves.
Selfish.
They're selfish, right?
Well, I also think that this book constantly connected to truth and conflict, because there was conflict in every
Yeah.
chapter. Something
Yeah.
always went wrong, and something always happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if it was as little as Paul asking the waiter questions just so Serge couldn't start eating just to annoy him.
Right.
Like, there's always something that there's conflict with, and that, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
I
just
think
always
a lot of the conflict comes from like keeping the truth hidden, like with
Right.
Yeah.
the son and Paul and like with Serge and this all these
The press
secrets.
conference
Yeah.
and all
So the
that.
conflict is in direct correlation to the truth.
Yeah.
Right. One point of truth that I wrote for this section was Paul tries to make it seem like his violence is okay when Michael sees him beating up other people. Which is like, you can tell that Michael thinks that it's like kind of okay that you can like beat up people because he does it like several times.
And he doesn't delete the videos too. In that
Right.
part where Michael came to get us when he was talking to Paul, he just seemed completely okay with what he did. He didn't seem like he regretted it at all.
Right.
He wouldn't delete the videos. And when his dad said, "Son, you need to delete the videos," I remember writing down the quote because he was like, "Aw, Dad." It's like,
Oh yeah.
Are you
yeah.
kidding me?
You're a jerk.
Yeah.
He seemed so cocky about what he did when what he did was illegal and just hurting people.
Right, and
So
it's bad.
yeah,
Yes.
and sorry, I have nothing else to say.
I just think he doesn't understand like the difference between right and wrong because his dad probably never taught him because his dad was always doing wrong things like being violent.
I think
He's
also,
never learned.
yeah, I think part of it is that he saw Paul, his dad, hit Serge with a pan, like beat his
Yeah.
uncle up. So I think at a young age he started learning that it was okay to hit people when you're mad. So, I mean, he obviously there's something wrong with him, and I think he developed whatever Paul has, but he is way too violent for his own good, and it's eventually, I'm not sure if we're going to read about it in this book, but he's obviously going to end up destroying his life.
I just don't understand why the mom wouldn't like tell Michael, like, no, Michael, what your dad just did was wrong. Like, teach him to.
As the mom like isn't present whenever it
Yeah.
happens.
It's just
And why is Claire okay with her husband not taking his medicine? Do you remember when they were in the bar?
Yeah,
She-
she says that she's like, I wanted my old Paul back or something. I don't find that.
I know, but if her old Paul is violent, then why would she want that back? Why would she want the medicine to make him better? He's
Yeah.
on it for a reason. So why is it okay for him to go off of it? And why is it okay for him to why is it okay for him to put other people in danger by him not going on his medicine?
Right.
Because he obviously gets more violent when he's not on it.
Yeah. On page 274, one of the quotes that Claire said, it was like, at first thought, what is he up to? But suddenly I saw my old Paul again, and then I knew I wanted my old Paul back, including the Paul who fixed his own desk drawers to bits. And that other time when the scooter cut you off on the road, when you took off after it, that was the Paul I loved. That I loved. That's the Paul I loved more than anything or anything else in this, or anyone else in this world.
That makes me actually
it just makes no
angry.
sense. Like,
No, it makes me angry because she is saying that she loves the Paul that's violent and
Right.
like gets mad for no reason.
I think that the Paul that she loves, she probably doesn't like how he's so violent, but I think that she loves who he was, because I think the medicine like completely changed him.
yeah,
You know?
and like,
Yeah, but I honestly I don't care about like her loving the old Paul, because if he's violent and takes unnecessary steps to getting revenge, that's not okay, and he should be punished for that.
That's true.
and also
He
like,
he should be put into a mental hospital.
and like he could end up hurting her, like by
Oh, yeah.
accident.
Yeah.
If he's like really angry, because he was willing to hit his brother with a pan.
Yeah.
So who knows?
I am still shocked that Claire's like gonna let him hurt Serge. She is pretty much telling him that it's okay to hurt Serge so he doesn't follow through with his numbers.
She's instigating his like she's
Instigating this.
what?
Instigating this, like his
Yeah, she's okay with things that she shouldn't be okay with.
That's true.
And that makes me think that maybe if she's okay with violence and him not being on his meds, maybe she has some disease too that doesn't make her completely okay in the head.
That
Because
could make sense.
what normal person would be okay with their husband beating up the principal, like beating up their brother,
Yeah.
and going off their medication when they obviously are on it for a reason?
And
So
then
what normal person would do that? Like be okay with that? I don't.
And then she's okay with it. What is she okay with? Oh, she's okay with her son doing this. Her son like blowing this guy up because
Yeah.
Girl.
oh yeah, whatever. She it's revealed that she has known like this whole time ever
Since
since
the
it
first
happened.
night, yeah. But she didn't do anything about
That
it.
she didn't do anything.
Like I don't think they're good parents.
No.
And that like really affects Michael.
Yeah.
Secretly.
I think Serge and Babette are better parents than Paul and Claire because I both think they're mentally a little bit off. And
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good situation to be in for a child because you can't have mentally ill parents and be raised normal.
So then again, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna take him away, like take the child away.
Well, Serge should have called child services and
But did they not like each other? Did they not like each other? So I don't think
Yeah.
that like he would even care. Because they already hate each other.
but like I feel like someone should have known. Someone should have like
Someone
called
should-
child services,
right.
got Michael away from them.
He always talks about Paul. Always says that I punched him squarely in the nose. Like he always
Oh, I wrote that down
talks
too.
about punching people like square in the face, which I think is weird.
Okay, he said squarely in the nose and squarely in the face a
Face.
few times.
Right. Every single time he talks about.
Every single time he punches someone, he's a square in the
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
I just think it's weird how violent he is.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be comfortable around
Unnecessary.
him.
What do you think is gonna happen the rest of the book?
I honestly have no clue. Probably the press conference, and like I guess Paul's gonna hurt Serge.
I think Paul is gonna hurt Serge, and there's not gonna be a press conference.
So I think that the press conference might actually happen because Mrs. LaRusso said that we're going to find out something bigger. So I think in the press conference he might tell the whole truth, and then we'll find out everything.
yeah.
And Paul might just be too late.
Right.
I was thinking that if he ends up hurting Serge, that this time it will be so bad. Like, it won't just be like, oh, you got hit in the pan, like you broke your nose. It'll be like you got hit in the pan, like you really messed Serge up.
Maybe he kills Serge, and then he goes to jail, and Mike gets taken away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like something bigger is gonna happen because he's already so violent. Like, now he has to defend his son, so he's gonna be even more.
And
Crazy.
Yeah.
throughout the book, actually, his violence increased. Like at first it wasn't as bad, but now it's like gotten worse and worse. Like he's shown his true colors.
Yeah.
So maybe, actually, you're probably alright. Maybe this is leading to the big event. Maybe he overdoes it and kills
Right.
Serge.
Yeah.
Something crazy like that.
You know,
It's so
I don't know.
and maybe before he kills him, the truth comes out, like the whole truth.
Maybe like
Yeah.
Serge will be saying the truth and not, like he'll like go on stage and like really say something. Yeah, or something bad.
Something crazy.
Yeah, like I don't have.
I want Paul to get punished for his actions.
Yeah.
I don't appreciate how he's gone off his meds, and I don't appreciate how violent he is.
Right.
And I want him to get punished for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked this book. I mean, I know that we're not done yet. But like,
We're not supposed to say that.
oh shit.
Crop out. Yeah, you're going to have to crop that out. Yeah, I grew on this book after, because before, like the first, what was it, 150 pages?
Yeah.
50 or 100 pages. It was so slow and it didn't go anywhere. But then once he started finding out the big things and it got more exciting and we got to know the characters better.
Yeah.
So I was able to appreciate it a lot more after we got further into the
Right.
book.
Oh, sorry. I also think it's like in the beginning you just kept getting questions and questions and questions.
And there was
I mean, I still
nothing
have
to
a
like
lot.
observe.
Mhm.
Like, what did Babette and Claire talk about in the garden?
Oh yeah.
And
I remember.
what,
yeah.
what was wrong with Claire? And what is the secret that? Oh wait, the secret that Michael and Claire have is the videos,
Yeah.
right? Okay. But yeah, what was wrong with Claire? And what was Babette and Claire talking about? What
Yeah.
secret does Babette and Claire have together that we still don't know?
I just hope they're all answered. I hate being left with like cliffhangers.
I know.
Oh, yeah, and what's wrong with Serge's and Babette's marriage? What is causing them to constantly fight?
I think Babette, she's like over him, and I think that he's like so like egotistical that she's like so over it. She doesn't want anything to do with him.
And didn't say at the beginning like how everybody that is with Serge is always hoping for something good to happen. And isn't Babette just waiting for that?
I might be making this up, but didn't Babette say that she was content?
With Serge?
Yeah, but didn't she say that she was like content, not happy, not sad, but
Yeah, I
just
think
content?
she did.
Just in the beginning.
I think, yeah. I might be
Oh, I think
completely
you're talking
wrong.
about the same section.
Yeah, so I think the last 20 pages actually really
Was that it? Was that 20?
Yeah, because it only goes to 290, I think. I think those pages are going to be very important because I thought we were going to find out the big truth.
I thought it was gonna be this
Yeah.
section.
Same, but
I was waiting for it.
We're probably gonna learn it in like the last pages.
if I had a bad would say that Serge dies and Paul kills him.
That's
Or
what
maybe,
I was thinking.
or maybe Serge fights back and kills Paul. I think someone's going to die.
So, oh god.
I feel like it's not a dying book.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
something's
think
gonna happen.
it's a little too happy.
Yeah. Either
Yeah,
like
I
we're,
hear it.
I don't know if Serge is gonna die, but I feel like
But-
something's gonna happen.
Burnt?
Burnt table.
Burnt table. Are you sure it's happy?
I don't know. don't know what that means. What do you think it means?
Maybe it's
Like burning for the truth.
maybe it's a symbol for Michael burning the lady, because that's what causes most of the problems.
That's true. Who knows?
This is the video reflection, and I'm Ashley Penfield,
Jessica Chen.
I'm Julian McKay.
and this is for the dinner discussion that we just had.
I think our discussion went well.
I think it went well.
I think it went really well.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that we do a lot is we ask a lot of questions, because this book leaves us with so many questions
Yeah.
that it's when we all put our ideas and confusions and questions together, we come up with a similar conclusion that expands our thinking so much.
Right.
So I think the way that we work in discussions goes really well, because we all are able to process new information and come together to make a new conclusion, which is essential to understanding this book,
Right.
since it is so confusing. And I got confused pretty much in every single chapter.
Yeah.
I was just confused all the time. I was like, what is going on? Is this a flashback? What
Yeah,
happened with the
flashbacks.
knights? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. It was pretty confusing.
Yeah.
Jumped back and forth a lot.
And I think, because if I just read this book alone, it would not have gone well, because I would have been so confused and I would not have been able to enjoy the book. But reading it with other people and
Like discussing it.
discussing it
Ask
makes
questions.
makes it much more enjoyable.
I think that our DPNs were like a good guideline, but we didn't really need that because we already had so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially, I mean, in the first few chapters, there's really nothing to talk about
No.
besides questions.
That you have.
But later on in the book, there's usually like one or two really big things that happen, and then we would just discuss that and the questions that came along with it, and it would be good. I don't remember once us really following our DPN. We just asked the questions on our DPN
And some of the
maybe
quotes, some
and
of the
said some of the
quotes.
quotes, but that's pretty much it. We didn't really, I mean, we talked about truth and conflict occasionally, but we never talked about our passage of interest or.
We never focused on that.
Yeah.
We've like brought it up and how we
We brought it up, but we never focused on it like we do on our questions and our quotes.
Right.
I also feel like one quote can lead to such a big idea, like the one you mentioned about the time one, how he doesn't ever mention
Yeah.
where he is. Like it leads to such a bigger concept in the book.
Yeah, it leads to his past, like quotes and his past thinking, like his earlier thinking and
How it, like,
what it.
progressed.
Yeah, like that quote led to our discussion about his disease and how I think he's bipolar, and the
Right.
same with you, and you thought he might have Tourette's. But yeah, one quote led to like so much
Oh,
more.
yeah.
I think our group works well together because we all know what's going on, and we sometimes have different ideas about stuff, but
It's a good balance. It is an idea. And it's a good balance between like similar ideas and like different ones.
and like different questions and stuff too. Yeah.
And it's not like we're fighting about things, so we're able to like,
Have a
you know what I'm
civil
saying? Yeah, we're able to have a civil conversation, but we're also able to come together and have a similar idea.
Like a similar
And
conclusion.
yeah, similar understanding.
I think that if we didn't listen to each other, the conversation would be really bad.
Just be like it'd be jumpy, like we jump
Right.
from point to point to point.
Well, sometimes we tend to by accident interrupt each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's like
But
normal.
yeah,
That's better than not having anything
Yeah.
to say.
that's true. That's the one thing I enjoyed about this book is that, well, one of the things is that later on it gave us plenty to talk about. Like The
Right.
Road, I honestly thought it was an awful book, and I didn't have much to say about it at all because I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, there wasn't really
And
a lot.
there wasn't a lot going on, but in this book there's so much going on, so much hidden, like, deeper meaning and all that stuff that it was so easy to have a long conversation about it.
Right.
I also feel like because these books are set up differently. Like this one's set up, it's like you're waiting till the climax and then you get all your answers. But like with The Road, it was like climax and then it was like a normal and climax. So it was like a different type of book.
Right.
Yeah.
The most difficult portion of our conversation was probably, I think, kind of like keeping to this section. Because I think that we go back a lot.
Oh,
But it's like kind of important to go back. I don't
I feel
know.
like everything ties together. Like you can't like we were talking about truth and like how Michael started off with like looking on the phone.
Right.
And like how everything just progresses together, so I don't think you can just pick out one section.
Yeah.
The past, what happens earlier in the book is essential to some of the parts later on in the book. So we had to go back, and I don't think that was a bad thing. I thought it was necessary. However, God, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, one thing. Okay. So there's one conversation that we had that this was a while ago. We were all confused about one part, and that was really bad.
Oh, was
because
that the
when-
Frenchman part?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I
when we were
remember
all confused, that was not a good situation. But I think we do a good job staying, like, at least one of us knows what's going on,
Right.
and can like help explain to the other.
Yeah.
So I think we work well.